3,455 pounds. This is the new 18 RJB Wolf Pup Toy Hauler here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. And my personal 2 cents, I think this thing blows the pants off the old 17 RP Wolf Pup Toy Hauler. It's slightly larger, and it does weigh a little bit more because we have a heavier chassis and suspension system under this thing, but it is a much bigger loading space, a much better layout, and a dry bathroom with a separate toilet and shower instead of that old combination wet bath that I don't think anyone was ever really, satisfied with. Now it starts with a full width, rear loading ramp door. The early days of the Wolf Pup, it was barely wide enough for a quad. It was really just intended for like a dirt bike. But more and more people wanted to put more and more things in this that occupied more and more space. And they kind of, evolved to accommodate the market. Now what I like about this one is you can sleep 4 in here pretty easily because we've got a full bed up front with a single bunk above that you could also just use for cargo space. It'd be good for bags. But back here, you have these dual fold-down sort of benches. Now you can create a cool little couple sort of dining space or a buddy dining space. But the other neat thing with this is that it can form like a full 7-foot long bed. And it's so large that they couldn't use the normal cushions that they use at the Cherokee Wolf Pup Grey Wolf plant. They had to include this extra little spacer brick right here to make sure that you had enough cushion space for all of the platforming on it. Now, you can kind of arrange this in a couple different ways. Obviously, you could have it in a full 2-bench sort of arrangement. I've got it set up in a single bench arrangement now, and you can see how the table free floats to move around when and where you need it. And then of course it can fold down into that full bunk space that we'll see when we walk back around the outside later. Now, like anything really in the Cherokee and Grey Wolf family, anywhere that you sit and sleep, we're going to get household and USB plugs nearby so you can always keep devices, CPAPs, etc. charged up. This also has, I feel, a much better kitchen arrangement than the 17 RP ever had. Before we get into that though, just because it's here, I want to talk about the entertainment. A lot of campers are going to this because very few people actively camp with DVDs anymore. A lot of RVs are going to these Bluetooth stereos that have auxiliary inputs for things like HDMI plugs for expanded entertainment options. The tricky part from the manufacturing standpoint is no matter what they put in, if they put in a basic stereo, someone's going to say it doesn't have enough features. If they put in a fancy stereo, someone's going to say they wasted money on something that I don't need. So what you're seeing a lot of here is manufacturers are splitting the difference with a simple stereo that allows you to upgrade and expand your entertainment as you please. What's kind of cool is this does have a little microphone built into it, so if you do Bluetooth sync your phone to the stereo, you can literally use your camper as a hands-free sort of speaking device. Like if your phone's plugged in charge, you can walk over here, you can press the call answer button, the call kill button, and use it just like hands-free in a car. Now, up top here, not the largest overhead cabinet, but they gave you what they could where they could. Not the biggest camper, so don't expect the biggest cabinets in the world. I do like the little bump to the partial stainless appliance package just to help lighten and brighten it up in here. And as we are cruising around, I do want to point out that we do have a full 13,500 BTU air conditioner on this sucker. So if you are park camping or bring a little generator with you, you're going to be able to keep this thing nice and comfortable. Now here's one of the more recent updates of which I am really stoked about, in addition to the whole decor. I mean, obviously the whole decor has changed from like what you've seen out of Cherokee and Grey Wolf for the last 4 years, but a full 6 cubic foot 2-door fridge freezer. That is absolutely awesome, and gas electric, so it is going to be very functional on the road. Still have the nicer countertops, and Cherokee wasn't necessarily the first ones to use the sealed edge press membrane counters, but they were one of the reasons that so many trailers in the marketplace have gone to it because of the success that Cherokee has seen with a better grade material here that has superior sort of liquid resistance. Now there's going to be something like a water pump behind that panel, that's why it's blocked off, but everything else you can see is open for storage, and they did give you whatever they could. Now for toy purposes, we've got D-rings from the tail all the way up to the bathroom wall right here. So you've got as much sort of loading space and tie-down space as possible, which is really nice if you have a couple different little dirt bikes or something in here, so that you have more space and you're not kind of fighting over the same tie-downs, as it were. Now, Another thing this has done over the 17RP is increase the total window coverage on the door side, starting up there in the bedroom, and then a huge picture window with TV hookups above it in the middle of the camper overlooking your campsite, which it seems a little bit low to the ground. But when you sit down, like when you're in this position, you're looking straight out at your campsite, and that extra tall window allows you to actually see things like your picnic table, your fire pit, whatever. And then, you know, the extra breeze window here below these overhead cabinets. So they gave you the space they could wherever they could. Now, obviously, this is not intended for some big side-by-side RZR. There's a lot of people who have maybe just like a golf cart, a motorcycle. You could back a Can-Am Spyder into this pretty simply and easily. This is one of those differences between the 17RP and this 18RJB, I think, is just so critical. Foot flush toilet and a separate step-in shower, not a tub. This is called a dry bath, as opposed to a wet bath, which has a toilet in the shower pan. And again, I don't think anyone's ever happy with that. I think people just settled for it because it was the only thing that they could get. Well, that's not the case anymore. You don't have to settle. So these generally won't include a TV. What we found is I can go across the street to the big box store of your choice and put a better TV in this, generally of bigger size, for less money. So if that's the only thing that's stopping you guys, give us a call. Little things like that, don't let little things like that stop you from giving us a ring. You know, if the wall's in the wrong place, then we're looking at the wrong camper. Give our guys a call and we'll find you a better one. So again, we do have a single overhead bunk here, which you could easily just use for cargo space. The extra cushions on the folded up table, I just kind of stuffed those up here real quick and they fit perfectly up in that area. Now, down here, you do have lights for the lower bed, and again, more household and USB plugs, but what's also cool, if you take note, there is a handle here to easily get to the storage under the bed space, so you can get to it from inside or from that outside storage compartment right there. And obviously it's so large that the spare tire included with this is just dwarfed by its total capacity, and those double gas struts make lifting this up one hand simple and easy. Before we step outside, I just want to give you a quick look from the bed angling back, and I think we are good to go. Now, if you've followed these things in the past, you know that last year they had a two-tone brown skin with a red stripe. And they've swapped that out for like a two-tone silver platinum graphite skin and a really deep like navy stripe. It's a lot less in your face. It feels a lot more well-defined, modern, kind of has more of an upscale look. But the cool thing is this new exterior color palette, I think it better fits the RV organically, because if you look at things like the MotorRide Step Above Stable steps here with these adjustable foot pegs so they can marry up to pretty much any goofy uneven campsite, these steps have a blue accent to them. Later, we're going to see the awning and the speaker lights turned on, and those have blue lights. And they've always had blue lights for like the last couple 2 or 3 years. And it looked goofy against a brown and red skin. Now, everything works together. The color palette makes sense. Now right here, quick note on the main entry door, it's anti-slam. So even if you flip it open like I did just now, you could really hit that thing. And the harder you push it, the more it resists. If you push it slightly, well then it's simple and easy. Kinda, if you're familiar with when people do the whole cornstarch non-Newtonian fluid thing, it's kinda like that. So, larger entry handle for easier coming and going. We already talked about these MotorRide Step Above Stable steps right here. We've seen the storage under the bed, but a quick look at it from the exterior, because again, this is huge. And 4-corner stabilizer jacks. Shocks me how many tiny toy haulers only have rear jacks. You want the stability, not just for loading, but for camping of those front jacks. That's nonsense. Now, simple side mount solar prep plug right here for those portable solar panels, which we have on the shop, shelf every day here at Haylett RV for you. This is a narrow body camper, so it's not going to catch quite the headwind that a full standard body 8-foot wide camper will. That is a full painted aluminum nose sweep, and the whole aluminum nose skin is actually extra thick. And it's the extra details like that that have helped define Cherokee as the single best-selling travel trailer at all of Forest River. #2 in the marketplace overall, second best-selling RV in the market overall, and one of the fastest growing RVs out there. It's very possible in less than 1 year's time from this recording, they might overtake that #1 slot. I think the only reason that they haven't so far is because they can't produce enough RVs. They have the facilities for it, but they don't have enough labor. And they made a really hard decision, and one that I respect them for more than I can describe. As a very service-based dealership, I love this and respect it. They don't have enough people to build all the campers that they have orders for. Case in point, guys, we ordered this literally 11 months ago, and it just now arrived. Well, I'm not happy it took that long, but I am happy that when they show up right, because Cherokee made the decision to not sacrifice quality for quantity. And that is not something I can say about RV manufacturing every single day. They have earned my respect and beyond. Full outside utility shower right here, hot and cold, so you can hose off the toys or get yourself rinsed off, you know, if you've been in the dunes before you take sand inside the RV. And this is kind of neat. There's a switch inside. Instead of like a little yellow amber light, you've got a full outside light right here, right next to your sewer station. So if you are hooking or unhooking at night, all of your hookups are illuminated. And that's something a lot of campers don't do. They don't usually give you good light on the driver's side of the camper. They put a bigger, heavier tire package on the this new toy hauler Wolf Pup, but you're still getting the cool little tire pressure indicator caps. So if that thing flips from green to red, you know at a glance that you have to put some air in that. So because underinflated tires are the single #1 point of tire failure in the entirety of the trailer business. Now right in front of that rear stabilizer jack, there's actually a little sewer hose caddy, and that is there so that you know, you don't have to mix your black tank stuff with your freshwater stuff. You've got a roll down tent screen wall, and you know what I said I would do and I failed to do it, so I'm gonna have to do it right now. I have not converted that over into sort of sleeper mode. Let's get that done. And there you have it. And that's what's kind of cool about this one. Now, you don't need to do this. Obviously, you've got, you know, your normal sort of like camp queen bed up front with a single bunk above, but you can pick yourself up like an extra roughly 7-foot long sleeping space. So it is good for one adult. Very handy when you're buddy camping, or if you know, have a small family or something like that. You could very legitimately use this as an alternative sort of tiny bunkhouse. It also occurred to me that I never actually had this set up in dining mode, so there's a quick look at that. Now, the table's free floating elliptical base. You can float and move that around anywhere you want. And what's neat is it's got the same type of top on it as the countertops. It's got that sealed edge press membrane type stuff. So if you want to take it out here under the patio awning for a little bit of picnic dining time, well, you know what? You're all set to do that too. Now, quick note here while we're talking about the awning. It is not fully extended because I didn't feel like smashing your brand new awning against the side of this impact toy hauler next to us. So just keep that in mind, that it does extend out further. But I did want to kind of just give you the idea while I had the opportunity. Now, quick note on these arms. They do have tilt adjustment. Both sides, both arms will have these quick little like, you know, lift and lock sort of awning arms. And as long as each arm is within 3 dots of one another, you can actually leave it slightly tilted and open and close it without damaging it. Now, below the awning, not as impressive during the day, but awesome at night, is this cool blue LED accent strip over here. But what's also neat is how that ties right into the LED backlighting within the side speakers. So, like I said, during the day, not terribly impressive the amount of light it needs, but you don't need an awning light during the day. Where this is going to be really cool is when you're hanging out with some friends at night, and you know, you just want to kind of to keep the fun times going after you've maybe spent a day riding around or camping around or whatever it is works for you. So whether it's small, medium, or large, from economy to excitement, we have it all here at Haylett RV of Coldwater, Michigan. Even toy hauler pop-ups. So take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.